Hello folks, this is Wesley Thompson of YouTube and West Truther, one word, W-S-T-R-U-T-H-E-R, of Brighton.com, B-R-I-G-H-T-E-O-N, and Minds.com. I need to catch the videos up on Brighton and especially Minds.com. Really had a big setback with losing a couple of channels on YouTube with well over 1,000 videos. But anyway, when and if one awakens, really awakens, you will need to guard yourself about the shock and awe, because you're try to accept that you have been lied to for a long time, because when you awaken, you're going to find a whole lot more questions than you are answers. And we've been trained and taught, even by the purest of hearts, our families, our parents and grandparents and stuff, because they were lied to, and they accepted things before us, and we have been taught a lot of lies, folks. It's enough lies that everybody should be friggin' pissed. I mean, this ain't no debate. This ain't no joking matter. This ain't no science project. This is a fact. Our government, our school teachers, our everything lies to us about everything as if we are shit. We don't matter. I mean, why tell the people the truth? It's just like Dick Cheney said when he was questioned on camera during an interview about what the people know, and he went, what do they know? Whatever. I want to tell you something. Now, I'm a flat earther. These channelers who are pushing globe and NASA and satellites and all this other kind of planets and solar systems and universes, folks, let me tell you something. We live in a universe. The earth is big enough to call it a universe. And I can understand that word being used. But there is no other solar systems out there in space. We are surrounded by a force field, over, down by us, and down underneath of us. No getting out, and nothing gets in. And if y'all can't, listen, in time, if you live long enough in time, and they don't kill or silence all the truthers that research for the truth, you'll find out, you'll realize it, that you've been lied to. Water will not have lumps in its surface. It will not have humps in its surface, other than wind-blown ripples or heaves. And I'm not talking tidal waves, I'm just talking heaves. You throw a rock as big as your fist out into a lake. I mean, as far as you can throw it, the ripples are going to go to the bank everywhere. And the ocean, the ripples run into each other. So sometimes the water's choppy because you got ripples coming from over here and ripples coming from over here and ripples coming from over here, and they all are hitting together. And so they create rough water. But it's not, folks, they are vibrational type of ripples, and they can travel for hundreds of miles in a large basin of water, touching and crossing directional routes of each other, and they stir things up. But water seeks its own stillness of flatness. Water seeks its own flat level. Someone texted and said my expression on the cover of one of my videos looked like I was out in left field out there somewhere. Looked like I was really messed up. But I'm going to tell you something in a minute about Ben Carson, one of the doctors, speakers of the White House. I'll get to that in a minute. But his eyes, that guy was wrecked big time. I experienced a shock wave when I was living in Belt, Montana. 3 to 4 inches, I would say. I was sitting at a chair at a desk, and the ripple came across the floor, and it was almost like you had a tablecloth and you took an instrument underneath the tablecloth and slid it across the top of the table, and it raised the cloth as it went along. It just raised the cloth, but the roll moved. It made my feet kind of bounce up off the floor. I'd say it was probably a roll about that big. It made my chair tuck. The house did a little shake, but it should have cracked the house all to pieces with that much movement. There's something real strange about these shock waves for these earthquakes. It's something artificial. It's just not natural. And but anyway, I want to tell you something else. The media is creating panic, and the media and politicians, they are open. They're moving all around. They're going places. They're no mask. Look at the germophobic Trump. Trump went to India where they got a plague of grasshoppers, and plus that's where Gates sent his polio virus that killed thousands of people in India. And there's some more stuff about India I'm going to tell you. But I want to know if any of y'all saw the drug face and speech of the White House Dr. Ben Carson. It aired on 3/8/2020 on ABC News. At about 3 minutes in to the video, look at the adrenochrome face of Dr. Ben Carson. And you got to remember, the adrenochrome donors die. The Solar Warden Defense Star Wars is deployed by military.
They do die, definitely. They can be left alive and have their adrenochrome, harvested from them repeatedly, though, before they're finally, sacrificed or whatever, which I get the heebie-jeebies even thinking about it. But I wanted to add that real quick. No offense to you, Wes, you're the man. Just figured I'd throw a little extra tidbit in there, because a lot of people don't even understand what you're talking about, man, unfortunately. But you know that I do.
Airplanes and drones and orbs and aircraft, these things have to refuel or to recharge. There's no such thing as satellites, folks. No space program bullshit. No space travel. No space probes. Really?
And I agree with all that, but I'm also going to add that he doesn't mean there isn't a space program. Like, there's a program that they have that they present to us. It's what they claim they accomplish that doesn't exist. None of it.
We live inside of an enclosed environment surrounded by an electromagnetic force field. And they got everybody, they got so many millions of people believing we got satellites up in the sky. Why are they still building cell towers? Can y'all see through that?
No, man. Nobody can. They can't see it, man. There's some supernatural veil over these people's eyes. I mean, I could be having a conversation with someone that I talk to daily, like family, friends, whatever, and I could start talking about some shit like what you're talking about now, and it's like they take a download right in front of you. Like, they'll suddenly argue with something you say, but it'll be like a debate. So you'll start to debate with them, but somewhere down the line, they won't let the debate be about what they first started arguing with you about. They'll debate something in your debate. And they will just continue down like that, and you literally never get to a conclusion to any of the things they disagree with you on. They just keep disagreeing with you, even though you could be showing them hands down factual information that you can verify, that you can show them. They just don't fucking get it, man. They don't. People don't get it. They really don't, and I'm happy that you're an older gentleman that gets it. Because my experience with older people is they've been in this matrix, totally mind-fucked so long that trying to tell them any of this awakened truther stuff, man, they just don't get it. They refuse to see it. JFK was assassinated, and and World War II, and I mean, they just believe it all. They believe all the bullshit. They just don't get it, and right now people don't get it at all. And I haven't even watched this video. I'm recording it as I watch it, but I decided I'd make it into a video of my own as well. But this man right here, I really like him, Wesley Thompson. We chat occasionally outside of YouTube, and I try to stay in touch with him, and I follow all of his videos. A lot of people might think, oh, he's crazy or this. I'm telling you, he tries really hard, and he'll admit if he makes a mistake in his research. We all make mistakes. We're all humans. But this is one man who is being censored hard, and I bet most truthers don't even know who he is. I bet I'm, out of the group of truther channels that I watch, I'm willing to bet a good portion of the people in the comments of those other channels are not watching this guy's videos. He has very few subscribers on this channel, but on his other channels he had a lot more. How many of those were agents, who knows? But here we go. I may or may not talk anymore throughout this.
Think of how many conspire to deceive the masses about everything. Think of how many employees, how many companies, how much government funding is given to people like YouTube subscribers, big subscribers who are still talking NASA, planet Earth, globe, global warming, space travel, folks landing on the moon. They'll be landing on the sun next. And but the powers at be are the Pharaonic and the Roman aristocrats, and their toxins are targeting.
Or you could sum it all up as Illuminati, if you want, but you say that word and everyone's like, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit, Illuminati, you gotta do some research.
Specific race and ethnic groups. This PCR testing for the virus is not a test to identify the virus. It's testing to inventory you and your genetic bloodline. The PCR testing is testing for genetic sequencing. I have been telling y'all this for a pretty good while now. In my years of posting, I have often seen my topics get picked up by some of the big channels, but their sales talk about the topics. I researched topics and couldn't find anything about a few topics on YouTube, and so I had some information and I posted the stuff, and 2 or 3 weeks or a few months later, I start to see other channels are posting stuff. But you look at the dates of the posting, that's one of the reasons YouTube got rid of my channel, because I had a lot of stuff that is now taking place. And if somebody wanted to search back, just remember, folks, if anybody's interested in a particular thing, I have all of those videos. I have every single one of them. And when they talk about the topics that I started out with, they don't give you the dirt. They highlight and touch on a few things, and that's it, folks. Their delivery doesn't have the mental impact as my choice of a more direct approach and to just about all the topics that relate to humanity's future and present, and the topics that interest me to watch a 2 or 3 hour video if I believe the nature of the speaker to be good over and over and over again. I've watched videos that was 3-4 hours long, and I have a video, I haven't watched it all yet, I think it's 9 hours long, about toxins in...
I do the same thing. When people start arguing with me in comments and stuff, I'm just like, oh, if you had any idea how much research I really do. I'm not a walking, talking encyclopedia, or I'm not a good writer, I'm not a speaker. So I absorb the information and I understand it, and I know what's going on. I'm wide fucking awake. But doesn't mean I can articulate every single fact I've ever learned to someone right on, on point, like right now. Tell me every fact that should make me believe flat earth. It's like, read a fucking book, dude. How about that? And then I'll send them like 200 proofs Earth is not a spinning ball. And they're like, oh, I'm not fucking watching that. That's almost 2 hours long. It's like, okay, so you'll never understand. You will never get it. You'll never learn any of the factual information that you can verify. and you'll continue to be an ignorant fuck talking mad shit to anyone who's actually done the research. I mean, I will sit there and watch a 4-hour video, a 5-hour video. I go to sleep listening to the Book of Enoch audiobook. I mean, come on now, people. Get off the television. Start watching some videos like this gentleman puts out there. Like, follow channels of people who are real people, not people out there just for the publicity and the money. And, you know, in this day and age, you really need to be connected with some people that have a clue. And I'm learning that that's harder and harder to come by. So
forced inoculations and pharmaceuticals. It's done by a doctor. It's about a 9-hour video. One 15-minute video may highlight one of my 15-minute videos may highlight 5 to 10 hours of back and forth studying of video content. Until it becomes your nature, one must encourage their own mind to become hungry for knowledge. You've got to have a desire to know what the truth is. And the free...
Damn straight. And for some reason, nobody wants to know. They think they know, and they're going to argue with you about it. But when you tell them the truth they know is not true, they don't want to hear why. And if they do listen to why, they're going to argue right about it. So I'm telling you, there's something supernatural about this. There's no way. It's not human nature to be so fucking dumb about everything. I mean, you can just see the stupidity in the looks of people's faces as you talk to them, especially about stuff like this. Start talking about the sports, they'll riddle off statistics and everything else. Try to talk to them about brain mapping or psychology or real science, not pseudoscience. Try it. People are dumb as fucking bag of rocks. It's ridiculous.
Frequencies have got everybody so not so blasé that they're not interested in anything. The people that I try to talk to and tell, I'm unable to reach any of 5 sisters, any of 6 remaining wives that I guess is still alive. My 7th wife, I was widowed, and I just gave up on a bunch. I gave up on people that don't have their word is no good. There are many setbacks before one can achieve the hunger for knowledge, folks. To any degree, you will have to, if you want to give increase to your knowledge, you have to have a desire to find out the truth about things. All of our lives, we have been denied knowledge, and the perceptions and wonders are kept stolen away from us, folks, so we don't know anything about them. Those among us with natural gifts to benefit humanity, not saying that I'm one of them, but there are people that have natural gifts that would benefit humanity, but they don't know anything. Their minds have not been opened up. And if your mind opens up, the government will censor you to where nobody can hear what you're saying. The minds never receive.
They absolutely do. The other thing they do is keep you from being able to connect with people that could be useful in, say, a shit hits the fan situation, SHTF. There's very few people that I trust, and all the close friends that I trust that I don't see regularly at all, they're not letting my messages go through to them on Facebook. Only in the comments section I can comment on things, and I don't even want to use Facebook. They literally will not let my comments go through. They'll comment, my messages. They'll message me, and when I respond, it will not go through. I'm not blocked. They're not blocking me. I'm not blocking them. But only the people who, like, let's say SHTF happened, and I would hit them up and be like, hey, pack up the truck with you know what and you know who, and let's meet you know where. Those type of people, yeah, I can't contact them. I can't reach them at all. Even phone calls aren't going through. So there are powers at work that people don't even believe exist, but they do. And trust me, they are watching you and everybody, all of us. And I'm not pushing fear. It's just reality. And it's time for people to wake up. We are not free. And what's happening right now in the world, and I mean the world, especially the United States for us, this is Babylon. It's proof of this. So
our minds never received the natural stimulation of accumulated knowledge which expands your natural discernment. So once awakened, by whatever means, you've got to stay awake, and your questions will rise. People are around who, if you have some questions, they may have some answers if you can find truthers. If they know the answers, and that is provided you can find truthers, and you've got to have ears willing to hear.
We know you're a truther, Wes, that's for sure. And I'm just going to let this video play through, and I'm not going to put my input anymore. So everyone like, share, subscribe to my channel. Go over and check out Wesley Thompson on YouTube and everything that he listed off in the beginning of this video. It's definitely a channel worth subscribing to, and I'm going to let this play out.
There are some Jewish rabbis who link Trump to the Pharaoh King David. Now, Trump has a pharaonic aristocrat bloodline. I don't doubt that for a moment. But King David, I'm going to tell you all something. King David wasn't the great nice guy that a lot of Christians think. I'm a Christian-minded person. I'm just not into believing that a Savior is going to come back in another few million years and get rid of all of the bad people. That would already happen by now, folks. But Trump don't have much time left in this present term, and if Trump gets elected again in 2020, gets appointed by the Rothschilds and the Queen of England, then the curse is not going to be anything to joke about. And I mentioned the curse in another video, and it's Tecumseh, a Indian chief, put a curse on him because a general he was one of the first ones to die. He died in 1840, and he was an elected president, and his forces wiped out a whole lot of Indians, so they put a curse. And any president who's been elected since 1840 with a 0 at the end of the year that he was elected, 8 presidents elected with a 0 on the end of the year had died. They died either in their first term or their second term. And if Trump is reelected, that means he will be elected in 2020. So I'm just telling you, this has happened 8 times. And folks, let me tell you something. 4 presidents were assassinated. 4 other presidents died in office. Do you not think that our government has a way of killing people without using a gun? Well, wake up. Take the media source, the coronavirus. Well, that's going to be in the second video, folks. This is Wesley Thompson.